Welcome everyone. My name is Rajen, Sheth, and I lead product for Google Cloud AI and Industry Solutions. Today, I want to talk to you about Document AI, and I want to share with you how our customers are using our products. Some of the most important data in companies isn't living in databases, but rather it's in documents. And most business transactions begin, involve, or end with a document. Transforming documents into structured data helps companies increase the speed of their decision-making, reduce costs related to manual data entry, and help them develop better user experiences for their customers. Google's state-of-the-art AI is powering useful solutions to solve these challenges, which is why we've developed Document AI to help businesses automate their document processing workflows. Document AI leverages our industry-leading optical OCR and text platform, which already helped customers process billions of pages in documents. And today, we're now excited to announce the general availability of Lending.ai, Procurement.ai, and the Document AI platform. Thousands of customers have already tried the products in the preview phase. Lending.ai can help lending institutions like banks and mortgage brokers fast-track the loan application process from weeks to days, reducing the cost of issuing a loan. Procurement.ai helps companies to automate the procurement data capture at scale, lowering their procurement processing costs by up to 60%. And these solutions are all built on the Document AI platform, a unified console for document processing where customers can quickly access all parsers, tools, and solutions. From the platform, users can automate and validate documents to streamline workflows, reduce guesswork, and keep data accurate and compliant. One of the newest DocAI features we're introducing as part of the GA is the human-in-the-loop AI functionality, which helps companies achieve higher document processing accuracy by harnessing the efficiency of Google's intelligent automation. I encourage you to read about the DocAI GA announcement from our launch blog, linked in the description below to learn more. I'm joined today by several Document AI customers and partners. So first, I'd like to introduce Shane Luke, VP of Machine Learning and AI at Workday. Thank you for meeting with me today, Shane. And congratulations on Workday's new expense receipt application becoming generally available. I understand that this app is powered by Google Cloud's Procurement.ai. We saw the product demo from your team and it looked incredible. So my first question for you is, what is the biggest challenge your industry faces and how has AI and machine learning solved those issues?
Hey, Rajen. Thank you very much for inviting me today. It's great to be here. I'm glad we get a chance to talk. So I'd say the biggest challenge that our industry faces today in enterprise software is that we have not only specific needs for every use case or business process that our customers have, but also they're specific to the customer. So we sort of have these orthogonal dimensions of variability when we're trying to deploy AI and ML at scale. These things are very specific to the nature of each customer's business, the geographies they're in, what their role types are inside their company, how they manage their employee populations, and as well as all the integrations they have with other service providers like their benefits providers and other back office software. And so we want our AI and ML to be general enough that we can use it for a large body of our customers, but specific enough that it's providing them the value that they really need that's specific to their business and their employees.
So can you share with me a little bit more about Workday's collaboration with Google Cloud, and particularly around Procurement.ai? What were the key factors that drove your decision to work with us?
For Workday's collaboration with Google, and particularly around the Procurement.ai API, the biggest factors for us were that there are specific needs for our customers in terms of how they're managing things like their expenses and receipts. But there are some things that are much more general that help them to manage that. In particular, OCR, where we're looking to take unstructured data that comes from images, like a scanned receipt from a smartphone, and turn it into structured data that then goes down into business processes that have to get reconciled in their ledger and all kinds of fancy stuff that happens in the back office. And we need that OCR to be really flexible. We need it to be multilingual. We need it to work even when some of the information that's relevant isn't explicitly expressed in the receipt. So in some cases you might have, you're in a food court or in an airport and the exact name of the vendor that you bought your lunch from doesn't show up there. It shows up as the airport or as a food court or something like that. And we need to be able to reconcile that kind of variation. And with the Google OCR solution, because of the power of the Google Knowledge Graph that runs behind it, because of the massive amounts of training data and the maturity of the service for the OCR, that works really well up front in that process for us. The things that we do with that data after it's been converted from pixel to text and structured text is very specific to our customers. And that's the kind of thing that our models do. And so we build that part of the solution ourselves because we have the data about how our customers' business processes work and are able to do that. And so it's a really nice build buy situation for us where with our integration with Google Cloud, we get really accurate multilingual OCR with the power of the knowledge graph behind it. And we're able to then take the output of that and turn it into something that's an automated solution that makes our customers' business process a lot faster than they would have otherwise been.
With your new expense receipt solution now launched, what results have you seen from customers so far?
In terms of the results we've seen so far, there's a significant wow factor that we've seen with the receipts scanning solution that we have. And that comes from the fact that there's a lot of automation that we've built in on the Workday side, but there's a tremendous power to what the OCR can do, in particular the multilingual aspect of it and the knowledge graph, which I'd mentioned before. We have a particular demo that we run where there's a receipt that we scan from an airport in Madrid. I think it's the main airport in Madrid. And it's somebody buying lunch, but the name of the restaurant is actually not explicitly stated in that receipt anywhere. And so if you are an accounting professional that's dealing with receipts and expenses in one of our customers, you don't know what that was from. And if the user has to go and input that and explain that it was food and select the correct categories and all that kind of stuff, it's a much more laborious process. But the knowledge graph behind that search actually determines from the information in it, even though it's not explicitly stated, that was a particular restaurant in a food court in the Madrid airport. And that's just the kind of thing that, we don't have the ability to do. We don't have that kind of data set or that knowledge graph behind it. And it takes several steps out of the process for the user on the end who's scanning the receipt, and then removes error for the accounting professional who's reconciling this on the back end. So we've seen those kind of results have significant wow factor. And the fact that we've been able to deploy it in multiple geographies because of the multilingual aspect of it has been super powerful as well.
So tell me a little bit about what's next. Are there other capabilities you're exploring with Google Cloud?
In terms of other capabilities with Google Cloud, we're kind of in our infancy of this. We wanted to be able to get a really good result with a clear use case that we thought was going to provide value to our customers, and that provided this nice integration between what Workday was doing on the business process side inside our software and what we needed as input in order to be able to do that. So that's the OCR up front, which then becomes the input that we take and automate business processes in the back office with. We're going to look for more opportunities like that. In general, we don't want to be recreating things that have already been solved really well by somebody like Google. And we're not going to have the same level of data that Google's going to have in some of these areas. Where we really specialize is in what our customers have and what's specific to their business and the data that they have in Workday software. And so we're really going to be looking for places where things like OCR, things like translation, things sometimes like image recognition, we can find services that are going to do a really good job with those things, that are going to do it at scale, that are going to provide us things like that knowledge graph behind it to augment the capability, where we take the outputs of that and create value for our customers and automation inside Workday applications.
I want to thank Shane for joining us today to chat about Workday and Google's collaboration. We're really excited to work with you to solve complex issues in the financial management and human capital management software industry. And now I'd like to introduce Stéphan Donzé, founder and CEO of AODocs, a business that's enhancing its document management platform with Google Cloud AI technology. So as founder of AODocs, can you talk briefly about how you came up with the idea to start a business in the cloud document management space? And at the time, what were some of the challenges you saw in this industry?
Yes, absolutely. Back in 2012, I was seeing a growing gap between the innovation that was taking place in consumer technology, the Gmail, the Google Drive, and the likes for collaboration on documents, and on the other side, enterprise technology that was still stuck in the 90s with a Windows 95-like type of interface for managing serious documents. And there was this belief in the enterprise that serious document compliance processes and so on had to be taken care of by serious-looking products with a dull, difficult to use user interface. And the founding idea of AODocs is that there is no contradiction between compliance processes, business critical documents, and user-friendly interface. We can combine the two, but to do that, we had to rebuild from scratch a new document management platform on the new platforms of the time, meaning cloud, serverless, real-time collaboration, and that's why we chose Google Drive and Google Cloud Platform as a foundation to build it.
AODocs is working closely with Google Cloud AI to help businesses automate workflows by processing many types of documents, such as invoices. Can you share a few of the ways that Cloud AI technology has solved for or improved the key challenges you just outlined?
Building on Google Drive and Cloud Collaboration Platform only solves half of the user experience problem. You still have to manually enter a lot of information if you want to benefit from business processes and if you want to structure the information you have in your system. AI changes the game on that because it finally allows the system to understand the content of the document. So instead of expecting the human users to do all of the work of tagging the documents, putting them in the right folder, in the right category, extracting information like the amount of an invoice or the termination date of a contract and things like that, the AI can do it for you. And users can benefit from the full power of structuring, organizing the documents, applying retention policies, applying the right workflow, business rules, and things like that on their document without having to do the tedious manual work.
Can you share with me a few reasons why you chose to partner with Google Cloud AI for the technology to power your document management platform, and also some of the benefits that your customers are seeing as a result?
So the main reasons why we chose Google AI were first that it's one of the only technologies on the market that's fully automated. It doesn't expect any manual inputs on the documents it processes. It doesn't even expect you to provide a model of the document on where to find this or that information. It's completely usable from the beginning, no training required. The second reason is that it's part of Google Cloud Platform on which AODocs is already running. So for us, it doesn't add another third-party processor that would touch our customers' data. It simplifies, it allows for a more secure architecture and for fewer moving parts. Everything is integrated, and DocAI will provide hundreds of parsers of different document types with a single integration. So it's extremely powerful and much simpler integration and a more secure platform for our customers.
What are the other capabilities you're exploring with Google Cloud AI? And are there other Google solutions that AODoc is interested in trying beyond our suite of AI products?
So with AODocs, we process a lot of different types of documents. Anything that's subject to any kind of regulation or process in the enterprise is relevant to us. So we're very excited about Google's Cloud AI capacity to process many different types of documents. We started today with the invoice and the procurement DocAI, but we're looking at anything related to HR, quality control, contracts, engineering documents, all of those things, first to recognize them, so identify within the enterprise where the business critical documents are, and if they are uncontrolled, bring them to a control system like AODocs. And second, once you've identified them, extract the relevant information, connect them with other business apps. For example, you can imagine that you receive an invoice by email, you process it, you extract it, you validate it through AODocs, and then you push it to the ERP, all without a single intervention from a human user. So that type of automation and removal of human errors, removal of human manual input is extremely valuable to customers. Another area of interest for us is industry vertical solutions. So we are packaging AODocs for life science customers, for manufacturing customers, for legal departments, for account payable departments. And within each of those vertical solutions, there is a place for AI that we can leverage Google's technology for.
I want to thank Stéphan for joining us today to chat about how AODocs is using Google Cloud AI technology to power their document management platform. I'm so glad to hear that your customers are benefiting so much from our technology, and we really thank you for your partnership. So next, I'd like to introduce Sridhar Sharma, EVP and CIO at Mr. Cooper. Mr. Cooper is one of our earliest DocAI customers, and I'm personally very excited about the newly announced partnership. Thank you for meeting with me today, Sridhar. AI and machine learning are at the top of the list of game-changing technologies for industries, and one of those industries is the mortgage industry. Can you talk a bit about how you've seen AI and machine learning help solve problems in your industry?
Hey, Rajen. Good to chat with you again. Let me start by saying, for most Americans, getting a home loan or a mortgage is one of the biggest and perhaps the most important purchase they would ever make. There's a ton of documentation involved. There are so many parties involved. You have the banks, you have realtors, you have appraisers, and it takes several weeks for the process to complete. And even after you get a loan, you get to deal with annual property taxes, escrow payments, having to decide when to get a refinance. All of this to say that the mortgage process in the US, it continues to remain a high-touch process with a lot of anxiety associated with it. Now, just take the process of getting a new loan. Now, one might think a home loan as a single product with a rate, but that's not necessarily the case. There are so many possibilities here, and it is really important to pick the right product that fits your needs or circumstances. And an experienced loan officer typically does just that by evaluating a multitude of options and helping the customer make an informed decision. And that generally is a time-consuming process. Using machine learning, we are able to process and fine-tune hundreds of scenarios in seconds and narrow it down to maybe the top 2 or 3 products that provide the best value to the customer based on their particular circumstance. Now, this is just one of many, many examples that a company our size typically deals with. And these are all opportunities that could benefit from machine learning. For example, trying to understand the real drivers for the thousands of calls that come into our call center, or catching documentation errors amongst the billions of documents that we process each year, or helping catch problems and errors upfront in the loan application process for the thousands of customers that we help each month. The bottom line here, Rajan, is that there is tremendous opportunity for technologies like conversational AI or machine learning applied the right way within the world of mortgages and simplifying the customer journey.
Google and Mr. Cooper recently announced a partnership to deliver transformational impact that will involve the mortgage industry. Can you share some details on that?
Of course, Rajan. We are super excited about this partnership with Google Cloud. The intent here is to bring the talent and assets between the two companies together and help transform the mortgage industry. Mr. Cooper is one of the largest mortgage companies in the country, and we understand this industry very, very well. And Google Cloud understands the world of technology really, really well. And you have built an impressive portfolio of AI and machine learning technologies that can be used to solve real-world problems, all on top of a cloud ecosystem that can scale. So we think that this partnership is very meaningful for both of us. The idea here is that as part of this partnership, engineers and business leaders from both companies will collaborate on solutions to digitize our core and help simplify some of the most complex processes that we have within the mortgage space. At the end of the day, we want to foster a broader innovation culture and a DNA that can create new solutions that can continue to transform the customer experience.
Can you share for me a few reasons why you chose to partner with Google Cloud AI, and specifically how Google Cloud AI has empowered Mr. Cooper's products to transform the home loan experience?
I think the most compelling reason is that both companies share a similar vision in putting the customer first. And this has been very evident in our partnership from the day we started with Google Cloud as a customer. And second, we have been working very closely with the product teams at Google Cloud over the past year. And I think our teams have benefited immensely from the collaboration, and I can see the eagerness to learn from one another. And we really appreciate that. And to your point on how this is helping transform the home loan experience, let me put it this way. It's one thing to talk about the potential of advanced machine learning, and it is another to actually make it work in real life. And this is where we've seen some real success. One of the solutions we developed late last year helped automatically classify and identify missing pieces of information from a lot of the unstructured content that comes our way. Now, we built this solution with custom machine learning models that ran on the Google Cloud AI platform. Not only was the solution we built more accurate than most other products we evaluated, it was also much faster, both in terms of raw execution speed, as well as the ability to rapidly train and retrain the engine to accommodate additional scenarios. To date, we have developed and deployed a library of about 300 plus auto-correcting machine learning models that are very specific to the mortgage servicing process. And I think this is a great example of how we've been able to make this partnership work. And this is just the beginning. And I'm super excited to see what we have in store.
Are there other capabilities you're looking to explore with Google Cloud? And what's really next for Mr. Cooper?
Of course. There are several new capabilities that we are excited about, and we want to leverage in the next coming months and years. We are at the cusp of something big here, and we just started looking at what we can do with contact center AI, for example, in terms of being able to better understand and serve our customers in real time. We think this is a huge opportunity for us, and our goal is to meet our customers where they want. And we will continue to invest in building best-in-class digital experiences. Now, we are also looking at ways to build new solutions that can dramatically improve the speed with which we are able to simplify and fulfill the home buying process. And to be very specific, some of the building blocks that we think have real potential in the Google Cloud ecosystem, it involves high-performance computing, custom machine learning models, the infrastructure around being able to build and retrain models rather quickly, conversational AI, the ability to search across content silos, irrespective of the type of data, whether it's structured or unstructured. These are just a few of the building blocks that we think has real potential. I'm personally excited to see what we can continue to build together with this partnership, in the coming years.
I want to thank Sridhar for joining us today to chat about the partnership between Mr. Cooper and Google Cloud. We're excited to have you as a customer and a partner.
Likewise, Rajen, we are excited to be partnering with Google Cloud. Thank you so much for inviting me to this fireside chat. See you next time.
You've just heard 3 of our customers tell their stories on why they chose Google Cloud's Document AI to supercharge their document-intensive workflows and transform their businesses. We've got a ton of great content rolling out this week, including announced blogs, technical deep dives, demos, podcasts, and more. Be sure to check them out at the links below to learn more about what Document AI can do for your business.